Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. All right. The market being a little uncooperative lately, and no doubt it is due to all this resistance here at this 8,000 zone. You can see yesterday's session, a very neutral day overall. We had some decent ranges, but very, very neutral. We got that dreaded doji bar. Volume is up ever so slightly, but generally speaking, volume a little bit weak. That kind of leaves you wondering what's going on. And I think opens up the possibility actually for a reversal, that maybe the market is not ready to get outside the sideways trading range yet. As I mentioned the other day, if we do see a breakout higher, then we need to see an increase in volume to sustain the breakout. Otherwise, it will probably be pretty short-lived. That was the daily view now on the NASDAQ market. Let's take a look at the overnight view here on the Eagle. And relatively quiet. Actually very quiet. The London Open came right here. A little bit of a rally up. Not much to speak of. We're getting our first in-sync Eagle signal right now. But overall, a pretty quiet overnight session. Okay, well, we'll give them a few minutes here to get their bearings. There we go, a little bit of a bullish push. That first in-sync signal is not unique to the Eagle. You can do it on the Raptor, you can do it on the Falcon. The key is to look at the overall context though, because you're looking for your with trend signal. It looks like this one's going to work out, but you can see the trading band, while technically bullish, overall very, very neutral. You know, it's not like this kind of band where the market obviously in an uptrend. Range-bound markets, always a little bit trickier to trade. So just when you think the market's getting bullish, look at that, they're pushing back off of the morning highs already. You know, a lot of times the appeal of trying to find an early trade is that you can perhaps capture some of that early momentum. We've got a number 3 signal printing on the back of this number 1 signal. We'll see if we get a couple of bars counter. There we go. We got a couple of bars against. This does offer a second push opportunity now. We'll see whether or not there is any early momentum. Oh, there we go with the number 2 signal. So the market a little conflicted. So we're back to the hard edge. The next signal that prints will be, again, another number 3 signal. Oh, if we get one to print. Well, looks like we're going to come down here and test the trend line now. Should see some buying. We're in the hard edge. We're near the trend line. That should encourage a little buyer participation. Bollinger Suite's a little bit bearish. All right, so we got a number 2 signal. Might come back with another sell signal. When we encounter this trend line, that will spark a little bit of buying if the buying fails at that point. So what I'm talking about is they come down, they actually breach the trend line by a little bit. That will entice the buyers. And if after that they lose their grip, then there's a pretty good chance the market will head lower. So that's what I'm holding on for. see, are we getting any other signals? Oh, here, the Falcon. If you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive on this, the Falcon actually giving us a potential trend change signal. It's not a pretty one. It's kind of sloppy. Kind of basing it on the broader scope, the bigger picture. The trend still up in the air. All right, and now we're getting a bit of a green trend line, so unless that flips back in a hurry, we're going to lose this signal. All right, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it alone for now. A little bit of an uptick, so we got a 323 signal now. What's significant about that? Well, it's kind of like the second effort on the part of the buyers to get the market to go higher. If this signal fails, then the next number 2 signal should have a little follow through to it. Or I guess it won't be a number 2 signal. Technically, it'll just be a sell signal. It's going to be a little dicey because we're at this trend line. There's the trend line. There's the signal. All right, let's see if they got any giddy up. See this now, the reaction to the trend line. This was also a trend line reaction, and then these are the latecomers, if you will. If the market is changing direction, which I believe it might be, at least for the short term, this could be interpreted as an early cloud crossover. So your clouds go from bullish, they're trying to get bearish. Here's the pullback. It's going to be an early number 1 signal, the next signal that prints to sell. Assuming, of course, the market's heading lower. Still fighting on these lows, but like I said, markets don't turn around very quickly. They sometimes need a little bit of room. Stinkers. Gonna tap me out. Son of a gun. So the pushback from the trend line was a little bit more significant than I thought. Scoundrels. I hate it when I do that. What time is it? Oh yeah, see? Quarter to the hour. This is why I got to the point where I would not even look at the chart until the top of the hour. I'd just go, get a cup of coffee, maybe check the news. All right, let's see what we got going here. The good news is, by the market not heading lower, we have a pretty good indication that it probably will try to head higher. Oh, all right. Maybe I spoke too soon. After that little rally up, now all of a sudden the buyer's putting on the brakes again. It's going to be a little bit of a quiet day, I think, here as the market kind of tests the upper and lower boundaries and retests and retests. Okay, back to the hard edge, or one of the hard edges, still shy of the eagle hard edge. We're back to the macro band here in the Raptor and the trend line in the Falcon, but the trend line's trying to change over a little bit. Well, we're starting to get to that point where we're retracing the same numbers again. The seller's moving it back toward the trend line one more time. trend lines are good for showing you, oh, see, I guess this is why it rallied as hard as it did. The Raptor trend line I drew thusly. I should have taken a look here at the Eagle trend line, which turns out to have been a little bit more accurate. Okay, so now that we've encountered the trend line, now we can do our little, wait for our little pushback and then look to short it. This is what I was looking to do earlier, but I fooled myself. All right, so we're going to get an early number one signal here now on the Raptor. Pardon me, or by the time it develops, it may actually be a number one signal. The Bollinger in Sweet is in sync. Or was. Come on, you guys, where's that sell signal? There it is. Okay, here now the number one signal. You can see the background highlight telling us the number one signal is on the way. I'm going to try to run this out. Come on. See if we can't get it down here to the median line, which is also near the lows of the day. Okay, time to get the trade to break even. And we should be able to get down to the profit target. There we go. Well, that's a little better. So when the market made that move higher and tried to establish an uptrend and failed to do that, well, then you have a pretty decent idea that it may try to go lower. It's just unfortunate I got fooled earlier. Oh well. Excuse me. And now we're hitting the median line. You know, the market is likely to continue lower, but we've got this situation where we're testing the lows of the morning. This is pretty much what our trading range looks like. Or I suppose if we wanted to be very precise, that was 628, market opened right here. All right, so this was the low of the morning. This now the breakout. We'll see if we get a retest. That'll give us a good price point from which to short. Now, if you can't wait that long, then you could just pick up any old sell signal that comes your way. The problem at this point may be stop placement versus direction. So this is a follow-up on the discretionary signal that printed just a couple bars earlier. I'm going to use this bar here as a second push opportunity for that signal right there. The buyers got their work cut out for them, I would think. But now we definitely have that pushback here from the breakout. I would love to see the market make a turn soon. Okay, we're back to the hard edge. Well, there's no harm in leaving this order down here, but the higher the market goes, the less influence this will have. Okay, there's the turn. That's good. So now we can put a just in case order to buy up here. And now we got the market cornered. So what we're watching is this was a retest of this breakout. The sellers are regaining the market, so they either have to continue the trend, in which case they're going to take out the low, or they're going to fail to continue the trend, in which case they're going to take out this little swing high. There. Oh, we need a little Giddy up. Come on, you guys. All right, let's see what they can do. I can get rid of that order. Well, we should see some follow through if they can push just a little bit lower. Come on, sellers. Where'd you go? Here we go. Now we're getting a little more follow through. So we were about 3/4 of the way to our swing target. Okay, at this point, I'm going to get the trade to break even. Darn it. Now watch them continue lower. I hate that. I hate those little look backs that they do. Who's telling them I'm rolling my stops to break even? Who is it? Getting a serious pushback at this point. We've already got a number 2 signal. I'm wondering if it's worth trying to buy it up. Maybe if I get a bit of a second push opportunity. We're working an early trend change signal here in the Falcon. Ooh, they're stalling again. I hate that. I hate it when you think you got a trend and then they start messing with you again. Okay, there's my second push bar on this number 2 signal. This is effectively a number 3 signal. It didn't, looks like we must have come up a tick short of the hard edge, but that is what it is. So the next reverse signal will actually produce a 232 type reversal, which tends to be a little bit more predictable. You know what? In actual fact, we could bracket this trade at this point. We could throw a sell order down here. We can throw a buy order up here. So let's see. I won't make the same mistake. So if I'm in at 35, I want out at 40. And if I'm in at 26, I want out at 21. There. I won't let the profit get away from me this time. Okay, so now we essentially have a 232 type signal. Aspen's question here, I think, was related to the eagle. These lines here, Aspen, are the ATR lines. It's one of the things we've added to the eagle over the years. A few years back, Mike Filigera, who uses the DTS system to trade the stock market, mentioned, he said, "Hey, Eric, have you ever thrown an ATR line on the eagle? Works pretty good," he said. Now, Mike's much more aggressive than I am, but what he would be looking at is he would just be looking at a breach of the ATR line on the eagle combined with a signal. Now, he would usually just look for a relatively short move, but you can see sometimes it works out quite nicely. You can get some very pronounced moves. Just a little bit of a filter for your directionality. You know, like if you're contemplating this, say this green bar sell, it worked out very well, but if you used your ATR line as a filter, you would not have entered it until it actually got below there. But another one of those things that, you know, over the years we played with, and it seemed to add rather than detract, and so we left it on. Okay, so we got the 232 signal. We're long, looking for a little bit of bullish follow through. The only good thing about a counter trend trade, as I mentioned before, is you know when you're wrong, right? Because stops go below the lows. Ah, darn it. Looks like they're going to tap me out on this one too. Stinkers. I should have stayed with the trend. Well, maybe we'll entice a little buying here, see if the buyers protect their territory. Nope. Nope. Oh, I hate that. Why don't I just stay with the trend? How long have you been doing this, Eric? Why does the counter trend trades always look so inviting? So they drifted just low enough to tag me out, along with a few other traders, I'm sure. Okay, the trend looking to be down. We've got a trend change signal here now in the Falcon. So if you're looking for a reason to get back in the market with trend, that will probably be good enough. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The biggest challenge in trading is to determine trend. Once you have trend, then you really need to just stay with trend until the market shows you otherwise, until the market shows you that it's no longer trending. And how does it show you that, you say? Well, it usually will show you that by making a significant move above a previous high or low. So here's a rather significant swing high. If the market trades above this swing high, then it's tipping its hand that it's probably going to make at least one more move higher. But until that happens, the best you can hope for is a sideways trading range, or that the market will continue with trend. So there's your thought of the day, a little something to take you into the weekend. Here we'll do this from the Falcon screen. Okay, get the trade to break even, and amazing how it works when you stay with the market trend. I'm still a little bit in the red, but essentially a rounding error. Yeah, that's a good idea. Ron says, I use the 100 EMA outside the macro on the hawk, only take trades in that direction. You know, if you do something like that, it's very similar to golfing in that, and for those of you who aren't golfers, this won't make much sense, but the best golfers in the world don't hit the golf ball straight. That might sound odd, but it's true. They always end up curving the golf ball. The better ones can curve it as much as they want or as little as they want, but almost all golfers will agree that a straight shot is really a fluke. So how does that help you? Well, by curving the golf ball, let's say they curve it from left to right, they eliminate half of the golf course. They eliminate everything on the left side of the golf course. This is what made Jack Nicklaus such a strong golfer in his day, because that's how he would curve the ball. All his shots would curve to the right. And I think he was even quoted as saying, "I can't hit the ball left." So right away, he's eliminated half of the golf course. In a similar fashion, when you're trading, if you only stay with trend, you have immediately eliminated half of your losing trades. One of my losing trades this morning was because my stop was not deep enough. I was correct on the direction. The market was heading lower, but my stop was not deep enough to ride out the swing. My other losing trade was because I tried to go against the trend. I knew better. I did it anyway, and I paid for it. But if you remember that little factoid, that if you stay with trend, you have right away eliminated half of your losing trades right there, just by staying with the trend. Scott says, not hitting the ball straight. I've been a pro my whole life. You know, for the longest time, my ball always curves to the right, and it has to do with my setup. I know if I move the ball further back in my stance that I can hit the ball straighter, or I can even draw it, move it a little bit to the left, but it doesn't look right to my eye. So long ago, I figured this out, that it's okay to let the ball curve. And now you watch guys like Bubba Watson, who I don't think Bubba Watson could hit a straight shot if his life depended on it. He hits such sweeping hooks and fades. It's crazy. And yet he's one of the best golfers in the world. Because as in trading, it doesn't matter how you get there, so long as you get there. And in golfing, so long as you get there faster than the other guy, that's the objective. Okay, I think we can definitely call the market in a downtrend now, and as such, it's going to be easier entering on a pullback. All right, well, let's see if we got a little bit of a test of the extreme here. We might expect the market to move up to the toward the hard edge, but now that we've got a couple of bars counter, we can once again put in our just in case order to sell. At this point, the problem, again, not so much directionality, rather stop placement. I suppose we could use the ATR for that. Here, we'll manage this from the Raptor. So I've got my stops in, and I'm short from 79.09 quarter. Okay, well, they're thinking about it. All right, you guys, we're going to close up shop here in a moment. And we will resume our trading room come Monday. There we go. Almost 3/4 of the way there. Yay. Okay, well, that's good. I kind of dug myself out of my hole today. Even have a little bit of money to the good. If you're going to continue trading today, well, the trend is down. The market seems to be flinching off of that 8,000 area. You could draw a trend line like this. I doubt we're going to get down to 7,800 today, but it does appear as though the market is on a bit of a slide. So look for pullbacks as opportunities to get short. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.